Hi, Internet viewers. This is Frank Rauscher again. On the last video, I lifted these feathers here, and I showed you how to do that. And these here, these are the secondaries, and I also did these and these on this side here. Now we're going to do the primaries coming down. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and we'll proceed on, okay? And I burnt these in on both sides so that we had that done. Now I'm going to show you how to lift them, which is similar to what we did up here, and then I'm going to show you how to burn them. So bear with me. But one other thing I want to stress, and some viewer had mentioned to me about knife work. I know I do power carving, and some of the times you don't see it on the screen. I will wear a dust mask, especially when I'm hogging and doing a lot of removing of wood when I'm in the beginning of shaping. And then there are other times when I'm off screen again, I do not show you, I don't wear a mask. And the reason being is that I just don't want my voice muffled, and I'm trying to be more clear. I don't create a lot of dust, but one thing I want to recommend, and I don't know if I did it before, but I want to do it again. If you don't have a vacuum system, and I do have things like that here, or you should wear a mask, okay? And it's smart too, unless you have a vacuum system that's vacuuming up the dust as you make it. So just as a precaution, it's not good for you, like with any dust that you take in. So I just want to make you aware of that up front, so that, you know, the concerns of power carving. It's like any time you're doing woodworking, you should, if you're making dust or anything, you should wear a mask. Excuse me. So just want to make that aware of. Now I'm going to move the camera down, and we'll start proceeding lifting the feathers. Okay. Okay, we're back again, and I'm going to start out on the right hand side here, because these are laying on top, these are on the bottom. So I'm going to show you how to lift these, and we're going to make this an illusion where this is laying on top of this. And the other thing I'm going to use right at the moment is I'm going to use a ruby flame, and this is for undercutting right along this feather line right here. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. You're going to lose some of the burn on this side, but we'll put that back in, and I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to undercut just a little bit, maybe a 30-second. And I am losing some of my markings on the lower side here, but don't worry about that. I'm just coming around here just to take this down. This is all going to step down anyway, but I'm trying to keep the burn, and I'm doing the outside of it. And at the same time, I'm trying to transition this all down so it suits that flow. So I'm lowering even out to here. So now what I'm going to do again is, well, maybe I think what I should do is start lifting these feathers, and then I'll show you. We'll put that back in pencil and then reburn it again. So I'm going to switch over from the ruby flame to the bit I just put down, which seems to disappear on me all the time. And that is the safe end. Here it is. So the safe end is a diamond with no diamond on the end. It's in it. But what it means is it'll run along the burn without cutting in. So it's an ideal way of doing it. So I'm going to undercut again along this edge, then come around on my feathers. And I'm taking this down and trying to keep everything flat. And then I'll come down a little deeper. I don't know if you can see this or not. I missed a little spot over there, so hit that and come around. Then I come down this way. Sometimes I do this with the flame too, but I'm just trying to show you with the diamond, with the safe end, making life a little easier. If you have a steady hand, you could use the bullet, the diamond bullet. It's excellent for this, as well as the flame tip ruby that I use a lot here too. So you're not fixed on any one bit, but I use this one for the feathering along here and get them nice and flat. And as the contour goes, you gotta lay your bit down to go with the flow and not straight in or anything like that. You gotta keep maneuvering the bit. I'm taking that all the way back to here. And then if I miss a spot, you can always, as long as you're doing it gently, you could come back and lift again. And if your bit jumps and you have to, you can go back along the way and reburn it. The burn acts as a stop, which is really helpful in a sense of making sharp edges that you're trying to create to get the lift for the feathers. So this last one comes down and joins the wing right here. So this has to come out, but I'm not trying to take everything out with this at the moment. I'm going to come back with maybe the flame tip and show you how to do that. So I've got them stepped down. I don't know if you can see that lift at all. It's a stepping effect, just like we did with these up above. And it's like a shingling effect, I should say. So let me stop this. Now I'm going to come back and I'm going to put this feather back in, which I obliterated. And then the next feather comes off and looks like it goes under this one. That's the illusion we're trying to get. And we turn in. Then we get the next one and that turns in. Then we do another one. That turns in one more, and then the last one. Okay, now I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to burn them in again. I'm going to go back on this one too, just a little bit more. Just to make everything look sharp so that you can see it readily. I'm coming around. And when you're doing these corners, you want to do it in part. For you to do a full swing is kind of tough. Now, remember, this is coming in, but it stops right there. And then when it comes out, I'm going to come this way and then follow down with the line work I had over here and join up. But I'm going to come in here, go just a little deeper. Then I'm going to come over here, get into my groove that I had from the burn before. And then as I approach these up here, I just want to butt up to them. I don't want to burn into them. So I'm going to come in here. Hope you can see this. I apologize on some of my videos where I tend to drift and you don't see what I'm talking about sometime. I hope I'm not discouraging you on what needs to be done next. I'm hoping I get everything onto the video instead of drifting off. Okay, now I got everything burnt on the other side. Now, what I want to do here is I'm going to undercut this side, but the first thing I want to do is I want to drop these so it looks lower. So to do that, I could use the safe end, but this is where I like the flame tip ruby. It really lets me get in there to give me a lower profile along this edge right here. Jump a little bit. I'm just lowering along this edge. And then I'm smoothing this out because we have to create some wing coverts in here eventually. And I'm just trying to smooth this all out. We could sand this later, but I'm going to come in here and go right up to the burn to get the lift. Okay? And I'll do a little bit on this side too, so this has a little more thickness on this side. Okay, now, here's what I was going to do. I'm going to show you with the flame tip ruby how to lift some of these feathers too. So there's more than one bit that can do the job. I'm going to sort of soften this a little bit. The ones we did the last time on the video, which were these three, plus that grouping. I'm going to come down here. And I'm going to undercut here. Now, like I said, because this is a round surface, you got and a point, it tends to want to dig. So you have the control where you feel as though you can handle it. This is another ideal. You have to have a steady hand, and you can relieve feathers with the flame. And If you can work with that, that's great. And if not, the safe end's another one. And then I also use the bullet, which is another ideal. That's a bullet-shaped ruby. And let me show you that one too. That's this one here. It's a little dirty right now, but it's all diamond with a bullet-shaped end. And that's ideal for getting in where you're getting into the point. Now, I'm coming down to the next one, and I'm really pushing this. Usually there's a high spot in here. If we have it too high, and we didn't take the wood down enough, I will go back in after I relieve all these, and this could be even on the other side here, because you don't want this up and over. These are flowing back, and I'm getting into the last one here. And yeah, see, we're getting like a hump right in here. So I'm going to undercut this. Now, the thing I want you to see is all this wood here and this wood over here has to come out. So one way of doing it is you have to undercut along here so that the wing looks like it's separated from the breast. So what I'm going to do is lay this right here, and I'm going to come up, and I'm going to stay under this burn, and I want to run this pretty heavy along that burn with this flame. And you can see how much I dug out, so I'm going to plane this out as best I can with this bit here. And there's like a loop going on here, so this is like an issue. I think I got this one pretty good. This is laying down pretty good. This right here, I don't know if you could see it, has a little bit of a lump. And this is what I mean by that. I'm going to stop midway here. There's like a rollover that's taking place right in here. And I can see that now. So what that means is I didn't take enough down right in here. So if I come back with like the pear and just roll that edge a little bit, that will level me down to have the right profile. But before I do that, I'm going to lose something in the pencil work. So what I'm going to do is turn my wood burner on again. And I'm just enhancing some of these because this makes a nice stop for anything I may have to go back and recoup. So these are just issues that come along as you're going. And I'm going to turn this around because I don't want to burn onto the existing feathers there on the other side. So I'm going to burn a little deeper. And then this is the last one, which comes up here like this and around. Now, I got that burned in. Then I'm going to get my pear. So I'm switching out. And this is the pear-shaped ruby. And what this does, it tends to roll things better. And you could dig in deep with like a flame tip ruby. So I'm just going to come across here and lower this. And the reason why I burned it is so I didn't lose things, but you can see it disappears anyway. So let me get this profile down the way it should look, because you want this side to be lower than this side so it looks like it's flowing in and not going up and over. Okay, shut that. I'm going to come back in here just with the pencil. Excuse me. Put these lines in so that when I do the wood burning again, Okay, now that I got all these back in along here with the burn, then I come in with the flame tip ruby carver, and I come in and I relieve those along this way. Now, if there's like a bump in here, see, this flows very nicely across here, and I want this to do the same thing. If it has a high rise and fall, I want you to lower this a little bit more, but this comes in pretty good. Now, to get everything in here, it should be, I lay this bit where I'm undercutting under the wing, and I'm bringing this up, and I'm lifting this, or not lifting it, but I'm undercutting it, and I'm trying to get this feather to lift up, okay, off of the tail, at least the look of it. And I do the same thing on this side. I come through here, I run my bit through underneath the wing, and then I want you to blend this out away with the flame, okay? And then try to flatten everything out around that on top of the tail, because we're going to prep this pretty soon to do the tail. And any of the remnant of that on this side, I want you to smooth out, okay? And you'll get like a nice lift in there. And if I run the pencil line through here, you can see that I'm back in under there. There we go. So there is about a good 30-second lift between the top feathers and the tail, okay? And then the other step you want to do is to go back to the ruby pear. Okay, then what I want to do is, when I was talking about using that pear, this area right in here, it was just having a high spot. Like I said, this rolls this way. This sort of comes up a little higher. So what I'm going to ask you to do is this area right in here is just a little high. So I come in and I get the ruby pear and take it down, okay? And you just do it that way, just a little bit. You're not even losing, you shouldn't have to lose the burn. So I'm going in like that. I'm going to come back in and pencil in just to make sure I know where burning lines are. And one thing I want to apologize to, I been breaking up the video so we can make some corrections here, and I tend to walk, and I apologize for that. It tends to, as I drift, I go off the screen, and I apologize for that. So just wanted to let you know that. But I'm coming back in here where I just went over it with the pear, just to take it down to get the profile better. And I'm just burning this area, and I'm not really trying to reconstruct anything. And this last one comes right off the edge here. So I'll put that back like that. We'll change the bit. I'll go back to the flame tip ruby that I used before. And I hope I don't go off the screen again like I do on some cases. And I apologize. I hope you got enough info out of what I was doing there. So I'm coming back and I'm undercutting this again. And these have to give the appearance that they're low enough that they're going under this grouping over here. So you want to take these down. Doesn't have to be really heavy, but you got to make look like these have somewhat of a body in here so that this line of action is coming across and you can see that readily as it comes. Okay. Now, I'm just going to clean up some other things here. I didn't make this too flat, but I still got a couple of bumps in there, so I'm just undercutting it a little bit, getting everything down, and that should do it. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do is to clean this area out, and you can get the flame under there some more, and just smooth this out, and then get the pear and get that nice and smooth through here, and then sand this, and we'll be ready when we go to do the tail. Okay, so I hope you got enough out of this. And again, I apologize because when I'm showing some of the detail, I tend to walk all over the screen, and I don't mean to do that. And I just want to be able to show you some of the things. And I get so interested in what I'm doing, I forget that I'm off camera. So I hope you got enough detail. The other thing I want to show you, this is a rotary brush. It's just a horsehair brush. And what you can do, just to see how everything comes back in sharp, I'll do this every once in a while with my burn. And you can see it really gets all the dust out. And now it gets real bright again. So don't worry about your wood burning getting dirty. There's a way of cleaning that. And if you don't have one of these, you can also, they're very inexpensive. And you could get a toothbrush and do the same thing. So hope you got something out of it. If you did, wish you'd give me a thumbs up. And if you can subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate it. And I'll probably see you on the next video, hopefully. And then we'll start burning the wing feathers here. So stay with me, and we'll get this guy flying soon. Thanks a lot. Bye now.